All right, my guest is joining me right now, Indy Pro Wrestler. I am joined with Kaela. I hope I pronounced your name right. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. And yes, you pronounced my name right.
I am happy. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, sorry I had a Daniel Bryan moment there, but thank you so much for joining me on tonight's show. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So let's go ahead and begin. And how did you get started in wrestling?
Well, it's been my dream since I was a little girl. I grew up watching it, of course, and I knew since then that's what I wanted to do. So once I graduated from high school, I started training, and here I am.
Who were some of the who are some of your trainers that you had a chance to work with in order to get to where you are today?
I worked with Jay West, Dave Christ, and Chris Ledbetter. They were some of the ones that helped me, get where I am today.
So who
Taught me like a lot of different stuff, and they were really good.
that is awesome. So do you remember your first ever wrestling match that you ever had? And if so, who was your opponent and what company did you work for?
Yes, my first match was against one of my trainers, Chris Ledbetter, and it was for LSC. And he wanted it to be against him, since he was my trainer. So this was him. So it was a like face versus face match.
That definitely had to make you feel comfortable that your first match went up
Yeah.
against your one of your trainers, but at the same time, did you ever had the case of the butterflies? Were you nervous prior to the match?
I felt comfortable in my match, but of course, I still today get butterflies every time right before I go out. But once I'm out there, I'm fine, and I feel comfortable, like where I'm supposed to be in the ring, and performing in front of all these fans.
That's definitely good. I guess at the end of the day, as long as you once you hear that music, once you make your entrance, once you make your way to the ring, then all the nerves, all the jitters, all the butterflies is out the window, and you go out and perform. But like you say, regardless if you are a wrestler or a comedian or recording artist performing in front of people, butterflies do tend to happen, but once you enter that stage, then
Yeah,
everything falls
yeah.
into place.
Butterflies are a good thing though, so they're a good thing to have. It shows that you feel like it's important, so of course you're gonna have them.
Absolutely. Um, as far as your wrestling career is concerned, how would you best describe your wrestling style? Do you consider yourself a technically sound? Do you like to use submissions a lot more? Like, how would you best describe your wrestling style?
Um, I use some like lucha style because I was always interested in learning that. So I started, using that in my matches. So I would say kind of lucha here and there, and just whatever I have to do.
In other words, you just go with the flow. You just do whatever do whatever you do to hurt your opponent more and pick up that pinfall, pick up that victory, or make your opponent tap out. I guess. Um,
Yeah.
So when you go out there and competing, this is a question I've always wanted to ask wrestlers. Do you sometimes get the feeling that when you go up against an opponent, do you get the sense that maybe they underestimate you? You know, they look at you like you're a beautiful looking woman. You're beautiful. You're attractive.
Aw.
And they look at you and saying, "I can take her," but then you give them the surprise. You keep them off guard. Um, do you sometimes get the feeling that when you go up against someone, they underestimate you?
Yes, I do. Like, I'm always the smallest one in the ring, so I do get that feeling, but then I prove them wrong at the end of our match. Show them that I'm not just, there for looks, I'm there to wrestle.
I've had a chance to see some of your matches, at least through YouTube. You are a very talented wrestler in my book, and
Oh,
you
thank you.
and I must say that you are definitely someone that a lot of people should keep an eye on in 2014, moving forward. And I hope that this interview will give you more popularity, at least.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, um, what do you consider like a wrestling highlight of your career? It could be a match that you have had, a storyline, an angle, or championships you may have won. Like, what do you consider a highlight in your wrestling career?
Well, I am the intergender champion, so I beat a guy for it. So that would probably be a highlight for me.
All I gotta say is, fellas, you don't want to mess with Kayla. she's got, she got,
That's right.
she got the belt. I mean, and obviously, when you go up against a guy, obviously you want to perform your best. You want to represent for the ladies. You know, it's that. Let's face it, for forevermore. That's guys and women. They're always gonna want to go up against each other, whether it's wrestling, whether it's music, whether it's anything in life, like to prove who's um, the superior gender, if you will. And by the looks of things, you got the championship to show for it. So, fellas, watch out. That's all I got to say.
That's right.
I heard that you've had a match with Hardcore Heather Owens. She's a former guest of the show. And what I want to ask is, what was it like getting a chance to go up against her?
It's always a pleasure working with her in the ring. I've learned stuff from her along the way, and it's always a pleasure working with her.
That's awesome. And she considers herself a broad, so the personalities, the personalities between you two are definitely complete opposite. And you know what?
Yes.
That definitely makes a wrestling match very compelling when the personalities are definitely complete opposite. It makes it worth watching to see, who gets the upper hand, who's gonna come out on the winning end. So, um, let me ask you this: who are some of the wrestlers that you enjoy competing against the most? Who is male or female for that matter that you look in that wrestling card and saying, "Oh, I can't wait to go up against this person."
That I haven't went up against yet.
Or better yet, who are some of those that you like going up against the most? I should say.
I don't want to call anybody out. um, well, me and this guy that goes by Tim Lutz, me and him put on like a really good match. So I would say that's one of my best and favorite matches. And for female, me and Marty Bell work really good together in the ring. So I'd say I love working with her too.
I love Marty Bear. She is
Yes,
fun
she's
to watch.
awesome. I love her.
She definitely how would I best describe Marty Bell? She's very sophisticated. She definitely speaks that multi languages and things like that. I mean, she definitely adds some flavor. I've been a fan of her throughout her years in WSU, from a tag team wrestler, and now she's shining as a singles competitor. I'm happy to see her succeeding very well up there in WSU. That being said, um, do you have any upcoming shows that you would like to promote?
Yes, actually, I have one tomorrow. It's in Marion, Ohio for NWA, and I'm going against Shayla Hyde for the first time, so that should be interesting. And I have one. It's an all women's match actually for Girls Night Out for AIW, and that's on March 29th. And I think they're doing two shows that night, so that should be good. And who knows, I might be going up against Marty Bell again that night, so
I've
I can
heard
check that out.
I've heard a lot of great things about AIW, especially the woman shows. Very well produced, well done, and get some of the biggest names in all of women wrestling. And now you're now on that card, and like you said, who knows, you may go up against Marty. So I'm definitely looking forward to see who faces who. I'm sure the AIW bookers and etc. They gonna make these matches very compelling. I got a lot of faith in AIW. Um,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So, what are some other goals you'll like to accomplish that you would like to set for yourself? Do you see yourself expanding more? Like maybe go to Shimmer, WSU, or Shine Wrestling, or maybe some bigger goals beyond that? Like, what are some goals you have set for yourself in 2014?
Yes, I would definitely like to get to those promotions because it would definitely be good for me. And I just want to get and take as many bookings as I can just to get myself exposed and out there more. And of course, it's always been my dream, to make it to the big time in WWE. So hopefully I get there, within the next couple years or so.
I checked your Facebook account, and at your cover photo, on the top of your page, I see that you
Yeah,
got that Divas Championship.
yes, it's my dream to, take that and win that one day. So,
Well, that's it's always good to reach for the highest level, but and I definitely believe that you will get an opportunity one day. You definitely have, there's a reason why you have that as a photo on your Facebook page. To reach up there one day. So, I got a lot of faith in you. They need that
oh,
and their NXT talent is looking pretty good. So
yes.
and Sarah Del Rey is there. She's training them. So um, you're in good hands if you get that opportunity. You definitely are in good hands. Got a lot of faith in them. As far
Aw.
as for the those in the main roster, I mean, I don't know. Maybe a little more work for those ladies. Maybe giving the NXT ladies more opportunities. Then we'll see. But you never know. I guess it doesn't hurt, but it doesn't hurt but to hope, right? And by the way, now that I mention it, you can check her out on Facebook under the name Kaela Wrestler. That's Kaela and Wrestler. Go send her a friend request, and she will post her wrestling shows. check her out at the AIW show coming up by the end of the month. And just check this lady out. And two more questions I have for you. And if you can have a dream match with any wrestler, it could be from the indies, it could be from the pros, male or female, considering you face both genders, who, what would your dream match be? Who would your opponent be?
I would have to say Trish Stratus. She was always my inspiration growing up, so I'd have to pick her.
I like the sound of that, and you know what? She Canadian, you American. You know, America versus Canada. I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that.
But right now, I would have to pick AJ so I could take the title from her.
Somebody's got to take the title from AJ at this point. I mean, the woman's been champion for 265 days. She is the longest reigning Divas champion ever. She's pretty much beaten everybody that's been thrown in front of her. I mean, so why not put Kaela in the mix? Someone's got to beat her for that belt. I'm just saying.
That's right.
And my last question is, what would your advice be to anyone that wants to become a wrestler? What would your advice be?
You know, it's not easy, or everyone would do it. But if it's your dream, you know, keep following it, work your butt off, and it sure pays off.
Short and right to the point. I like that. I really do. Well, Kaela, it was great chatting with you. Thank you for your time. I wish you nothing but the best. Best of success goes out to you. And again, thank you for your time. And keep in touch. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You have a good night.
Thank you, too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.